coming in on this Saturday night at PNC Park as we celebrate African American Heritage Weekend. And Pittsburgh Crawford's hats being given out to the fans here at the ballpark. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to PNC Park. Along with Steve Blass, I'm Tim Never. We've got our new Crawford's hats, and we're getting set for Game 2 of this 3-game set with the New York Mets. And again, it was the Mets last night getting the better of the Pirates. Jose Reyes and David Wright, 3 hits apiece, and Jose Reyes really is a catalyst.
He really is. Both of these teams struggling offensively, but Jose Reyes, when he scores, the Mets win. I think there's something like 37-17 when he scores a run. He's got that great speed, and he is a handful. And David Wright also a big part of the Mets offense, always struggling now, but had a great July.
Yeah, he had a great July. He was the National League Player of the Month for July. A slow start in August, but 3 hits last night. The pitching matchup features a young left-hander for the Mets, Jonathan Nice. He'll take on James McDonald.
Nice has been terrific. He's 7-5, but he could be a lot better than that. The last 3 starts, he's given up 1 run in each of those 3 starts, coming away with no wins. That'll really attest to the fact that Mets have been struggling offensively. James McDonald has been outstanding, especially here in this ballpark. Something like 20 strikeouts in 18 innings, so we're looking for him with his power stuff to do a good job against the struggling Mets offensively.
James McDonald, the PNC achievement tonight. See his numbers at PNC Park. James McDonald for the achiever in us all. Jonathan Nice and James McDonald, the pitching matchup tonight. Pittsburgh Crawford's hats and uniforms for the Buccos as we count you down to the first pitch between the Mets and the Pirates. The lineups and first pitch coming up. A sneak peek at this week's edition of Inside Pirates Baseball.
been absolutely terrific.
Behind McDonald in the field tonight in left field, Jose Tabata. Andrew McCutcheon back in center. Ryan Doman in right field again. Alvarez, Cedeno, Walker, and Jones around the infield. Chris Snyder doing the catching for James McDonald. New York Mets wearing the uniforms tonight of the New York Cubans. Also a Negro League team, and in fact, back before the turn of the 20th century, late 1800s, they were an all-Cuban team. In fact, the Cubans employed not only Negro League players, but some Latin players that were ignored by Major League Baseball at the time. On the balls and strikes tonight, Adrian Johnson, Tim McClellan, the crew chief, is at first, DJ Rayburn at second, and Andy Fletcher is the umpire at third.
We talked about the key to the Mets offense. This is the man right here, Jose Reyes. When he scores, they win.
And he has one off the wall right away. Reyes, on the first pitch of the ball game, finds himself in scoring position. It's the second straight night he has taken the very first pitch of the ball game and driven it somewhere. Last night it was up the middle for a single. This time it's down the right field line for a double.
When he has that reputation, too, the fastball is just drilled down into the corner, and that's part of the scouting report. It is Jose Reyes and Hanley Ramirez. Both of them have that kind of reputation, that kind of resume. They love to take a shot at the first pitch that they see. Unlike a lot of leadoff hitters, they choose to go the other direction. They see something early, they go after it.
Jose Reyes, the Mets franchise leader in triples and in stolen bases. And the pitch to Pagan. And this is for a ball. Pagan had to play a lot of center field this year due to the fact that Carlos Beltran did not play until after the All-Star break. He had knee surgery back in October that required an extended period of recovery time. The pitch is brought up the right side. It'll be a tough play. Nobody covering first. It's a base hit for Pagan, and down to third safely is Reyes, and the Mets in business with nobody out in the top half of the first.
Just a beautifully placed bunt. You see, it's going to be far enough where it gets beyond James, but if you're going to make that play, the only way you can possibly make the play is if Jones stays at first and James McDonald is just able to scoop the ball to him. Both players going after the ball, done deal. The minute you see both the pitcher and the first baseman going after that baseball, that was a bunt base hit.
First and third, nobody out. Angel Pagan. A bunt base hit now, Carlos Beltran. First ball swinging, pops it up center field.
This will be interesting.
In left center, it is McCutcheon. Reyes gives it a good look. And with the throw going through, Pagan able to get down to second base. That's a good piece of base running by Pagan, taking advantage of the throw going through the cutoff man.
Now, I'm not officially schooled in this, but in a perfect situation, you'd hit the cutoff man, which would freeze the runner at first base. A low throw might have prevented that from happening.
Now two men in scoring position with one out. Pagan at second and Reyes at third base. And the cleanup hitter is Chris Carter. His teammates call him the Animal. Very intense guy. And a couple of hits last night, including a home run. 2 out of 5 in the ball game. Scored 2 runs. Drove in 2.
The minute Pagan saw the ball going all the way to home plate, he takes off. It's the minute he sees the height of the throw, he's got an easy trip to second base. Take shot of the double play.
1-1 to Chris Carter.
Well, James McDonald certainly has strikeout capabilities, and if you could get Chris Carter, put him in position possibly to escape this early mess.
Last 5 straight games, the Mets have scored the first run of the game, and they're 3-2 in those 5 games. Blocked by Snyder.
Snyder's just struck out 11 times in the first 110 at bats. Chris Snyder getting a big body in front of the ball. That's all he has to do. As long as he stays in front, doesn't have to look pretty. Two balls,
1 strike. Carter Snyder adjusting to the off-speed pitch, but fouls it off.
It cost him the second strike, and again, strikeout capabilities. We saw what James could do that first start against the Rockies. What did he strike out the first 4 batters he saw? Wound up with 8 overall. So he can fool around with Carter now, try to make his pitch. If he loses him, no significant harm done. This is a big item for James McDonald right now, and for Carter. And these Mets, who haven't been doing much offensively in spite of their 7 runs last night.
Second and third, 1 out. 2-2 pitch. Here we go. Yes, first base is open. They'll throw down, and here comes Reyes, and he's safe. And Pagan going down to third, and he is also safe. Well, Reyes makes things happen, and Chris Snyder arguing vehemently with home plate umpire Adrian Johnson. John Russell has to come out and break it up, and he'll take the argument over. But Snyder was very upset. He felt that he had blocked the plate on Reyes.
There's the call on the strike out. Boy, I tell you, Chris Snyder has a foot that's very, very much involved in the attempt by Reyes to find home plate. He is underneath the big man. John Russell still arguing. Pirates do not get the call. They won't get the call at home or at third base.
Well, let's get another look at how it started. Started with the strikeout, and they've got 2 good base runners out there for the Mets.
So Reyes is kind of hedging his bet.
Looked like he slid. Well, this will be a good angle here. Did he touch the plate at all?
Well, you can't see it in the dust.
He did. He got his hand in.
Yep.
Snyder can't see it.
And it's a tough thing for Adrian Johnson to see, because he's got big Chris Snyder in between him and the hand that's trying to find home plate. But it looked like he did make contact. There was just a little bit of a hesitation by Garrett Jones getting that ball out of the glove and unloading the throw into Chris Snyder. But Reyes was watching this. That was his intent the whole time. And he could cheat as much as he wanted coming in from third base. Yeah, we can check out Jose Reyes. He's got this thing measured. The minute the throw goes, the minute he sees Snyder commit to first base, he is on the fly. And he's fighting his way underneath the big man. And he makes it.
David Wright strikes out looking on a nice curveball. Mets get a run on 2 hits and leave a man. At the end of a half inning, it's 1-0 Mets, and the Pirates coming to bat. Sent out like this, brought to you by Suzuki. Andrew McCutcheon leads off. Tabata second. Neil Walker hitting .329 this season at PNC Park. Garrett Jones, Pedro Alvarez, Ryan Dolan, Ronnie Cedeno, Chris Snyder, and then the pitcher James McDonald batting ninth against the left-hander Jonathan Neese.
23-year-old left-hander out of Defiance, Ohio.
Andrew McCutcheon takes a strike.
Neese has been very good, 7-5, but when we get a chance, I want to tell you about his last 3 starts in which he did not receive a win in any of them.
McCutcheon hammers it. Center field, going back off the wall. McCutcheon will pull into second with the leadoff double.
The answer in the bottom of the first is delivered by Andrew McCutcheon. Reyes gets it started for the Mets. Andrew gets it started big time for the Pirates with the ball that had a chance of getting out of here. The delivery by Neese, the AGH camera is going to get reversed as that ball gets a big ride. Beltran thought it was gone, but he finally does catch up with it all.
And Tabata out at first. On the move with the play was McCutcheon. He's safe at third, so the tying run in scoring position with 1 out.
Quick action. Top of the first, bottom of the first. Trying to do the same thing. And Jose comes that close.
Pretty close at first.
Gets it by the pitcher. That's the key. And the quick shovel by the first baseman, Ike Davis, is the key for the Mets to get that out. That was a really quick little flip release.
Neil Walker fouls this one away. Nothing in 1 to Neil. Neil's still hanging around the 300 mark at 296. And Tabata doing his job, getting the man over. And that was a very close play. That was bang bang at first base. Probably could have been called either way.
And I'll tell you something. That was beautifully done by the Mets because that was a bunt for a base hit, and Tejada did his job getting over there. So quick release by Davis, but heads up baseball instinct by Ruben Tejada.
Tejada gets the put out, the assist going to the first baseman Ike Davis on the sacrifice bunt.
So they awarded the sacrifice?
They did.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of pushing the ball for a base hit.
Neil strikes out. 2 men are out. Now Garrett Jones will come to the plate. So Jones, the cleanup hitter, had last night off. John Russell feeling that Garrett had been struggling a bit at the plate, just wanted him to get a breather. So he was back in hitting cleanup again tonight. He was on deck with 2 outs in the 9th and never got a chance to get up. Ground ball right side. Davis will toss to Neese covering, and the Pirates strand the tying run. So we're through 1 at PNC Park. Mets with a 1-0 lead. or on demand on your computer. Visit Pirates.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Top of the second, 1-0 Mets, and Ike Davis, the first baseman, up. Pirates had a leadoff double from McCutchen, got him to third, but couldn't get him home. Mets out to the lead again here in game 2, but only 1-0 at this point in time, and McDonald ended up with 2 strikeouts in the first inning, despite giving up 1 run.
Very busy first inning, very busy.
Strike is called.
We're getting some more drizzly rain.
Looks like the wet stuff's coming down again.
It'll stop. It always has.
It always picks up again eventually. Could be weeks later, but it'll do it. Here is Jose Tabata underneath it and makes the catch. And Davis is out.
We've told you every time we've seen James McDonald about his curveball. See it roll straight down. That's the old-fashioned downer right there. That's they used to call it a drop. That's not left and right. That is top to bottom.
James Zell McDonald out of Long Beach, California. Josh Tolley fouls it back. 0-1. The Mets wearing the Cubans uniforms. The Pirates wearing the uniforms of the Pittsburgh Crawfords. 1931. Gus Greenlee was the owner. And the team was sponsored by the Crawford Bathhouse and Recreation Center. That's why you don't see an S on there. It just says Crawford. There's the Crawford Bathhouse and Recreation Center. And also, Greenlee owned the Crawford Grill up in the Hill District.
That's probably the name that's most closely associated with the Negro League team.
1-2 pitch. And that one is lined into center field. That's a base hit. Big turn by the catcher Tolley. Will stop at first base with a 1-out single.
It's a good job of hitting that good McDonald curveball. Take another look at the McDonald downer. See that tumbling effect that takes it downstairs, and Tolley stays with it nicely. Good at that.
Ruben Tejada, the second baseman, number 8 hitter in the order for the Mets. 1 out and 1 on, and Tejada gets this one out of play down the right field side.
You know, those looking at those uniforms right there, Tim, that reminds me back in the day, I mean way back in the day, like Little League and high school, we used to have uniforms that were that same color gray, but ours weighed about 50 pounds. It was that heavy wool. I'm sure these are more player friendly.
0-1. And this one to the left side, stopped by Cedeno. He'll throw across, and a backhanded scoop by Jones gets him.
Nice play on each end. Cedeno to go get the ball, the accurate long throw, and the nice pick by Garrett Jones at first base. On the backhand side, moving away from his throw, gets enough on it, and the pick. Nicely done.
And Ronnie's had some accuracy issues the last 24 hours or so throwing the ball. That was pretty good. And you wonder, well, he's had a shoulder problem. Well, it was his other shoulder, though, so it shouldn't affect his throwing arm. His left shoulder was the one that he had the issue with, but he's just getting his timing and distance back after missing 8 straight games. Jonathan Neese, the hitter.
6 base hits for Jonathan.
Neese is out of Defiance, Ohio. How about this? He was born on October 27th, 1986. That was the exact same night that the Mets beat Boston in Game 7 of the '86 World Series.
Was that the Buckner night?
No, that was Game 6.
Okay.
Game 7, Boston also had a lead in that game, and the Mets came back to win it. 2-1. Did he go with the appeal to third, and the umpire Andy Fletcher says no. And McDonald behind 3-1. Wind has picked up. It is gusting out to left. A little bit of rain falling now. In the top half of the second, 2 men out. And the pitcher Nice has been walked.
I kind of like the fact that James McDonald, highly regarded in the Dodger organization, said he had the best changeup, but just as impressive to me, the best control. Dodgers have a pretty good history of coming up with good young pitchers. Control such an issue.
Reyes doubled his first time up, and he scored the game's only run.
And understandable that James starts him out with a pitch that's not in the strike zone. He loves to go after the first pitch, as he did in the first inning. So get him out of that mindset. And buries the ball downstairs.
Well, you mentioned the name Hanley Ramirez earlier, the shortstop for the Marlins, who was just here. He and Reyes are 2 of the more liberal first ball swingers that you'll see at the plate. They'll go after the first pitch.
And usually you want your leadoff guy to see a lot of pitches, work the pitcher, da-da-da-da-da. But if you can be productive like Hanley Ramirez and Jose Reyes, you'll live with how they approach their at-bats.
Strike is called right at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jose Reyes.
And, this guy's not the biggest major league player, but he's hit the ball over the fence 8 times.
1 miss, 3-1. Reyes, an all-star, selected for the 3rd time this year. He couldn't go to an injury, so Dodgers shortstop Rafael Furcal replaced him. Reyes still went to the game with his family and enjoyed it in Anaheim. 3-1, and it's fouled into the Mets dugout.
That'll start the merry-go-round. 3-2, 2 outs.
Runners will be going at second base. Josh Thole, he's there via a base hit. And Jonathan Nice at first, the Mets pitcher, walked. 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes to Jose Reyes. Runners go, and a swing and a miss. McDonald strikes him out. 3rd strikeout of the game for James McDonald. To receive your special ticket offer for tomorrow's game. Again, text weekend to 61592. Grab your cell phone and act right now. By the way, all kids 14 and under tomorrow get a chest protector backpack. It's another Kids Day Sunday here, so take advantage of that special text offer. Steve, you can put your phone down. We're working right now.
Okay.
Pirates batting in the bottom of the second inning. Pedro Alvarez takes a strike. Pirates wearing Pittsburgh Crawfords uniforms. Mets wearing New York Cubans uniforms. And both teams have worn these uniforms once before this season, but in different circumstances. Go back to the 29th of May. New York wore the Cubans uniforms against Milwaukee. Milwaukee wore the old Milwaukee Bears uniforms. 0-2 to Alvarez. That's high and away. And on the 12th of June, in an interleague game in Detroit, the Pirates wore Crawford's uniforms. They were the road version, and Detroit came out wearing Detroit Stars uniforms. Alvarez down the left side, and that will make the seats.
It's hard to tell you about Jonathan Neese. The last 3 starts, just 1 win to show for it, but 3 starts, each one of them 7 innings, each one of them giving it just 1 run, 5 walks, 19 strikeouts. You should be 3-0 when you do that kind of work. But that's how much the Mets offense has been struggling. Since the All-Star break, they've had the miseries.
Alvarez down on strikes. He's had a battle with the strikeout recently.
Patented left-hand breaking ball down and away to the left-hand batter. Always a challenge to either lay off it or get down there to it.
Here's Ryan Doumit, the right fielder, switch hitter, batting right-handed against the lefty Neese, and takes one down and in. Doumit blasted his second home run of the homestand last night. And into the right field stands, 349 feet. Against the Florida Marlins on Wednesday. Hit one almost 100 feet farther, 445 feet, well over the stands. And if it hadn't been for a tree behind those seats, out behind the ballpark, it would have more than likely bounced off the edge of the sidewalk very close to the river and then bounced into the Allegheny. But the tree was there and slowed it down. There it is. There's the culprit. When Darrell Ward hit his 479-foot shot, that tree was about 2 feet tall. Maybe 3 feet. He hit it right over it. Back in 2002. Three and two now to Doumit. Neese's payoff pitch outside, ball 4. Let's check out tonight's Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. We take you back. There's Doumit's blast against the Florida Marlins, and boom, right off the tree. And we take you back to last night. Marlins in the seats. Ryan Doumit gives us our Cold Hard Blast. It's brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. All right, Cedeno, the shortstop, takes ball 1.
I took a ruler and a string out there, and I climbed up the tree, created an angle, a triangular kind of a configuration. I had that ball actually going in the river on the fly if the tree is not there. But I could be wrong.
Did you use the Pythagorean theorem to figure that out?
Beg your pardon?
A lot of kids going back to school in a week or so are going to learn that. 1-2 to Cedeno. Pirates with 1 out, tying run aboard. Ryan Doumit, a 1-out walk.
I'm just trying to unravel the nebular hypotheses about the creation of the universe.
Well, we're going on the road pretty soon. You've got probably a day or so you can figure it out.
A pretty good chance of figuring it all out tomorrow after the game.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Right out there on the back porch.
Cedeno bounces it right over the Pirates' dugout. There you go. It's worth a few high fives. Good catch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And Nice's pitch. A little swinging bunt. Cedeno's got a chance. The throw is not there. And a base hit for Ronnie Cedeno.
Now, why didn't Ike Davis maintain contact with first base? He's standing there beside first base. He must have assumed that there was not going to be any play. And had he been in contact, that's close. Here comes Toy.
This will give us a good look, I would think, down where Davis is. Maybe once you figure out the hypothesis you're going to work on tomorrow, you can figure that answer out.
Well, it worked out okay. Might be that one alone.
Chris Snyder has a chance now with the tying run in scoring position. Ryan Dolan at second base and Cedeno first. Two and 0. Snyder's gone 8 out of 25 with a home run and 3 runs batted in his last 7 home games. That's a .320 average. 2-1 to him. Pirates had the tying run at third in the first inning after a leadoff double by Andrew McCutchen. Tabata got him over to third on a sacrifice bunt. Pirates couldn't get him in, and now it's a 2-2 count. Edgar Alvarez struck out to lead off this inning and a walk to Dolan. The infield single to Cedeno. And James McDonald is still searching for his first base hit. He's had very limited opportunities at the plate this season. While with the Dodgers, he was coming out of the bullpen, so he rarely, if ever, got to hit. Snyder down on strikes. 2 strikeouts for Nice. Our day automotive this day in history, August 21st, 1984. Marvell Wynn had 3 hits, including a bases loaded walk-off single in the 9th. Pirates beat the Braves 5-4 at Three River Stadium in that ball game. That's this day in Pirates history, brought to you by Day Automotive.
Name out of the past, Marvell Wynn.
James McDonald, a good athlete growing up in Long Beach. Comes from a very athletic family. His first cousin is Darnell McDonald of the Boston Red Sox. And his dad played tight end for the then Los Angeles Rams back in the mid-'80s.
Get in what you can about James, because his time is over.
Thank you, Steve. 3 strikeouts in the inning, a hit, and 2 left. We'll go to the third. Mets with a 1-0 lead.
Day Automotive. We're going to make your day.
Mets with a 1-0 lead. Top of the third inning. Let's take a look at our AT&T Mobility Trivia question. AT&T, rethink possible. Here is the question. In 1971, the Mets traded Nolan Ryan and 3 other players. Who did they get in return? Steve, you know all about 1971?
Yep.
You must have an idea.
I do have lots of ideas. Yep.
I mean, about the question.
Oh.
I know you have ideas about things.
Return.
Joe Pagan trying to hit between the raindrops. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Pagan. Pagan with 30 stolen bases this year. And that is a big number. It's a career high for him. And keep in mind, he was playing every day when Beltran was out, and he has played all 3 outfield positions over the course of the season. And you could almost argue that he has been the Mets' most valuable player when you talk about the value he has created for himself by being so versatile in the outfield. Cedeno makes the catch and foul ground, and there's 1 away.
Far so good for James after he got squared away after the leadoff double by Reyes. The Mets scored, but it wasn't easy. They had to try to go through Chris Snyder, and Reyes found a way to get a hand across home plate. It wasn't easy. They got themselves on the board.
Carlos Beltran. Now, Beltran has done something very interesting in his native Puerto Rico. He's building an academy that is scheduled to open sometime either late summer or early fall. It's for high school players, and it's basically going to be a high school that's based around baseball. 2-0 pitch.
Back in the day, that's what the Kansas City Royals did, I believe, with Sid Thrift, Kansas City Baseball Academy. It was school and baseball.
Beltran has been using part of his salary to help fund it, along with a lot of fundraising efforts, and hopes to have instruction on a daily basis, and have a lot of major league players come in. It'll be in the community of Florida, Puerto Rico. Chopper down to second base. Neil Walker gloves, throws, and Beltran is out.
I'll tell you, give you an idea of what Carlos Beltran is making. He could create an academy in Florida, Nebraska, Iowa, and Michigan himself.
And he's done well. Kansas City Royals, Houston Astros, and the New York Mets. Here's Chris Carter. Carter is 0 for 1. He struck out on a check swing that he couldn't check. Ball was in the dirt. He had to go down to first base. That was in the first inning. He was thrown out by the catcher Snyder. And on the play, Jose Reyes was at third. Reyes broke for home. Jones return throw did not get Reyes, and that's been the only run of the ball game. Two balls and no strikes to Carter. Carter brings somewhat of a football mentality to the clubhouse. He'll walk around, slap guys on the arm, and in a very intense voice say, "Let's go get him. We're going to get him tonight." Like you save all that up for a week when you play football. You play one game a week. Baseball, it's every day. You sort of have to pace yourself a little more, don't you?
But Tim, you got to growl a little more when you got. I need more.
You want more growl? More cowbell?
More cowbell. I get to what you're saying. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that have coming in through baseball, still some in it that get after it.
So Carter is aboard. Let's check our National League leaders, our Barrel Automotive League leaders in 3 hit games. David Wright's up there. He's third on the list. Martin Prado of Atlanta with 18. Albert Pujols with 16. And Marlon Byrd and David Wright tied for third place. Barrel Automotive, definitely worth the click at barrel.com.
Why don't they just call it the Albert Pujols stat pack? Albert's everywhere in those charts.
His name's up there, no doubt.
The Albert Pujols stat pack.
Well, when you look at where he is, and we'll see plenty of Albert starting Monday here at PNC Park. He's now 4th in batting average, 1st in home runs. He passed Adam Dunn, Pujols with 32. He's now leading in runs batted in, and legitimately making a run at the Triple Crown. He didn't have a good batting average. He was under 300 for a good part of the season, now starting to climb. And he's only 4 points behind the league leader in average, Joey Votto. Votto hitting 320, Pujols 316 to start the night.
And he is not in that position for the first time. He's had Triple Crown numbers many times.
Right, fouls it back. 1-1 the count.
Go back to the first inning when we saw that great curveball by James McDonald that locked David right up. Second strikeout for James, 3rd out of that top of the first, busy top of the first.
1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And right. It's the breaking ball to right field. Ryan Doumit waits, makes the catch, and that'll do it for New York in the top half of the 3rd. Through 2.5 innings at PNC Park. It is the Mets 1 and the Pirates nothing. Top of the order due up for the Bucks. The Nice. It's a drizzly night here at PNC Park with Steve Blass. I'm Tim Neverett and glad you're with us. Pirates trailing the Mets 1-0. Pirates have had base runners in the first and the second, and Andrew McCutchen takes inside. Ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. McCutchen, former football, track, and baseball star out of Fort Meade, Florida. Puts one toward the left center field gap. That's going to get down and roll toward the bullpen. Cut off by Beltran, and in with his second leadoff double is Andrew McCutchen.
And it would have been a triple had Beltran not been able to get that ball with his second attempt, if you will. That ball hooking away from him, but Carlos was able to get a glove on it, prevent it from rolling all the way to the fence. There's the bounce, and right there, that second grab saved 90 feet. And that ball just tattooed. You can tell when a ball is hit that hard by the way it can hook away from a center fielder. Most balls in that direction will just kind of have a straight line. That ball was turned on and kind of turned around. If it's hit straight on, Beltran might have a chance to get to it, but it just kept turning away from him. As Andrew really put the wood to that ball. That ball was hit hard.
Byers trying to get that tying run in. 0-1 to Talbot, and he'll bunt off the plate and down to first. Tejada covering. Another bunt moves McCutchen down to third. Well, McCutchen decides he's going to turn on the Jets, he can really fly. He knows he's got extra bases. The thing about his running, Steve, he's just so smooth. He doesn't look like he's going as fast as he is.
He doesn't labor.
He's very gifted in that area. Jose Tabata, 2 sacrifice bunts. And Tabata has been a guy who's been hitting for average recently. The Pirates intend on manufacturing a run tonight.
I guess it's been such a struggle, but usually a guy in the number 2 hole, you'll see him sometimes, but when you're up around that 300 mark.
2-0 to Walker. Infield playing in, not all the way, but
this is when Nice tightened up in the bottom of the first. Keep the Pirates off the board.
Walker hitting .329 in 36 games at PNC Park. 2 balls, 1 strike. It's amazing the impact he's had on so many local kids. And I was at Pine Ridge High School this morning, and several people stopping and asking about Neil. All enjoy watching him play, and such a thrill for people who came across him during his time playing there in high school. And a lot of young kids want to wear the number 18 jersey because Neil's got it. They can't wear 24 at that school anymore, though, because they retired it.
We'll shorten up a little bit and see what it can do about making contact at least. And then the next step is getting it out of the infield. But not able to do that in the first inning when Nice struck him out.
Well, Walker, a good chance to tie the ball game. 1 out, 2-2 the count. And McCutchen the runner at third. Another foul ball. Majestic out there tonight. And Walker base hit to left field, and that will tie the ball game.
Good at bat for Neil. Good at bat.
Walker's 35th run batted in, and the Pirates are on the board. It's 1-1. Look from the AGH cam as he goes out after that 2-strike pitch.
And a good-looking curveball from Jonathan Nice, but Neil was able to get down there, stay with it, deliver the goods.
Garrett Jones looks at strike 1 on the inside corner.
14 home runs given up by Nice in his first 22 starts. Go over his work so far this year. A gem against San Diego, I believe it was. Yes, a 1-hit complete game shutout, by the way. That was a gem.
Pirates on the board. Safe Auto Insurance reminds you you're safe at home with Safe Auto, proudly supporting the Obadiah Cole Foundation for prostate cancer screening and awareness. Early detection is the cure. 1 ball and 1 strike to Garrett Jones. Let's that one go off the plate, 2-1.
And that's the discipline you need on that breaking ball. That lefty's going to throw you that breaking ball, going to try to get you to bite on a ball that starts on the outside corner and just curves outside the strike zone. That's what every lefty wants to do with that breaking ball, and you've got to have a lot of discipline.
Jones to center. Beltran drifting. And the catch and retreating to first is Neil Walker. 1971 was a good year for Steve, and see if he remembers anything else from 71. Nolan Ryan was traded away from the Mets, and 3 other players. Who did they get in return? And I see Steve wrote an answer down.
Jim Fregosi.
Is that correct? Yes, it is.
How about that? All over it.
See him down in spring training quite a bit.
Yeah.
Scouting. Pedro Alvarez, he went around.
Jim Fregosi went from being a player with the Pittsburgh Pirates to managing the Angels the next day.
Yeah, that's not very common.
I guess that's a job promotion, working up your way up the corporate ladder.
Absolutely. As that breaking ball down and away, Pedro lays off at 1 ball and 1 strike.
The days that Nolan Ryan was a Met, they were scary days because he was young and he threw very, very hard and he did not know where it was going.
I talked to John Russell yesterday about catching Nolan Ryan, which he did in Texas, caught his 6th no-hitter out of the 7th.
Well,
So what was it like with the ball exploding in triple digits coming at you? He said, the ball had life, and you'd see it coming out of the hand, and all of a sudden it was right on top of you. And he said, same thing as a hitter when you face a guy who throws 100.
Well, I faced Nolan Ryan his 2nd start when he was with the Mets, and I told Jerry Grody when I went to dig in at home plate, I said, listen, Jerry, no problems, 3 pitches, I'm out of here, but I don't want to die tonight. So if he hits me, I'm hitting you. That's what I told him.
You told him all right.
I told Jerry Grody, yeah.
Were you out in 3 pitches?
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Alvarez to right field and right at Carter. But the Pirates get a run. Neil Walker's RBI single after McCutchen's double evens the game at a run apiece. Great shots from the AGH cam as we start the top half of the 4th inning. Pirates 1, Mets 1. Ike Davis, the first baseman, takes high and away for ball 1. Andrew McCutchen, so far a pair of doubles. He has scored. Neil Walker 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Mets get their run in the 1st inning after Reyes led off with a double. Andrew Pagan, a bunt base hit. Moved him down to 3rd base. And runners at the corners. Chris Carter would strike out on a ball in the dirt as he went down to 1st. The runner from 3rd, Reyes, came home to score the first Mets run.
That's been it against James McDonald. He's been just fine. He was really fine against Florida last start. 7 innings, just 3 hits. Walked a couple, struck out 6. So the 2 starts here in Pittsburgh. Total of 3 free passes, 14 strikeouts. Love that kind of ratio.
1-2. Foul back. Speaking of ratios, how's this for a number, Steve? The Mets this year in National League Series on the road are 0-13-4. They've not won a National League Series on the road this year. They've won 2 road series. They were both in interleague play, beating Baltimore and Cleveland. They split a 4-game series with the Yankees. but they have not won a National League road series, and they've lost 13 of them and split 4.
I didn't know there was anything that could make the Pirates' road business look better. That does.
Pirates have won some road series against the Chicago Cubs and Colorado Rockies. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ike Davis. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Beg your pardon. Correction on the count. Full count. And here comes the payoff. Davis to center field. Pretty well hit. Going back, McCutchen. He looks up. And it balls off the top of the wall. Davis will chug into second base with a leadoff double. He's 1 for 2. And the Mets now have the go-ahead run in scoring position.
And that ball blistered. Andrew knew he could not catch it, so he just turned completely around and positioned himself to take the ball off the padded wall. So we can see Andrew now. He's going to go back, realize he can't get it. Okay, let me judge where I'm going to get the bounce. He did nicely, and ball back in the infield.
Josh Thole, the catcher, he singled in the second inning. This one gets away from Snyder. And down to third base is Ike Davis.
Well, let's see if Chris Snyder wants to talk to James McDonald in terms of a signal cross-up. No. And I don't know how they'll rule it, but Chris Snyder should have caught that ball.
They're going to rule it a wild pitch. Ball and no strikes now to the left-handed hitting Thole. Infield comes in, and this one hit it down the left field line on a play. 1-1. Thole had a pair of runs batted in last night's game. He had RBI singles in his first 2 at-bats. He ended up going 2 out of 4. And hits well with runners in scoring position. .474. In the air to shallow left, a long run for Tabata, and he will make the catch. And it's too shallow for Davis to move up. So an out is recorded. Here's tonight's AGH Sports Medicine injury update. Has to do with Jason Bay, and Jerry Manuel yesterday talking about him, saying it appears that I was a little premature in saying that he wouldn't be back. It appears that he is recovering nicely, and there is a possibility that he will be back. That was today. Yesterday, Jerry Manuel said that he thought Jason Bay's season was done. He ran into the left field wall against the Dodgers on the 26th of July and has been battling a concussion. It's our injury update thanks to our friends at Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Now you got to be a little careful here because the Mets have not been scoring much. You're going to have the pitcher in the on-deck circle. Always a squeeze possibility in this kind of scenario.
Tejada looks at that one outside. Ruben Tejada, he was called up earlier this month. He was in AAA playing against Scranton Wilkesboro. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs is what they're known as now.
Such romance in their name.
And a strike is called. And when he got the call, the Mets were in Philadelphia. They tried to find a way to get him there in time for the ball game. The best way the Mets could find was to call a cab.
I bet it was better than a routine cab. You know, they got those cabs that are the town cars or whatever they are. I bet it was a nice cab.
Whatever it was cost $300, and he has just put one near the gap, cut off by Tabata. Tagging and scoring is Ruben Tejada, or rather is Ike Davis, beg your pardon. Tejada with the RBI, and it's now 2-1 Mets. Sacrifice fly to left field, gets in Davis, and there are 2 men out for the pitcher Jonathan Neese. first. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nice. He walked in the second inning. He's not afraid to swing the bat. He's one of the bright young arms in the National League, just 23 years of age. 6'4" and 215.
Drafted in what, 2005, 7th round.
Features 4 pitches too and uses them all pretty well. Fastball, cutter. He throws a curveball like McDonald, kind of straight up and down, and also feature a changeup. 2-2. That one's outside. Count full 3-2. So for whatever reason, James McDonald going deep in counts. He's been in a 3-ball count twice now against his opposite number. That needs to foul it off. One run has come in, a leadoff double by Ike Davis. Wild pitch got him to third, and then a sacrifice fly by Ruben Tejada scored him.
Making James work.
I gotta like what you see out of James McDonald. He's been a good addition to the staff. Payoff pitch to Nice. And he walked him again. And that's something you don't like to see. He's given up two out walks, both to the pitcher. That brings up Reyes with a man aboard.
We were raving about his control, and his control excellent through the first 3 Pirate starts. A walk in the first one, walk in the second start, and 2 in the last start. Now he's walked 3 here as he works to get the 3rd out in the 4th inning.
Pitch to the switch hitter, Jose Reyes, and he fouls that one off. First ball swinging. That's not really a surprise.
Nope.
See Reyes at the plate. If you want to watch Reyes hit at a game, don't get up and get anything. Wait until he's done, because he's usually not at the plate very long. One way or another. 1-1. He runs so well too. That's a big part of his game. 26 steals so far. Didn't start the season on time. Had to start late. Doctors in mid-March diagnosed him with hyperactive thyroid gland problems, and he had to stop spring training activity altogether. And on the 23rd of March, he was okay and cleared to play. He was on the disabled list, missed the start of the season. Been okay since. Ball and 2 strikes, and McDonald's pitch. Hit to right field. Right at Ryan Doman. That takes care of the Mets in the 4th. They get a run and pull ahead after 3.5. New York leads the Pirates 2-1.
Brought to you by Meadows Racetrack and Casino.
Welcome back to PNC Park. Moving to the bottom half of the fourth inning with Steve Blass. I'm Tim Neverett. 4 hits apiece. Mets with a run more than the Pirates at this point in time. Ryan Domit will lead things off. Pirates right fielder. He'll be followed by Ronnie Cedeno and Chris Snyder facing the left-hander Jonathan Neese. Domit seeing much more time in right field. And what we have seen, Steve, is recently, very recently, recently as the last road trip, against left-handed pitchers, we'd see Lastings Millage in right field. And against right-handed pitchers, we would see Ryan Domit out there. And the difference really with Domit as a switch hitter is against left-handed pitching coming into the game tonight, hitting 187, 282 against righties. John Russell wanting him to get some right-handed at-bats tonight. And Domit also swinging a good bat during this homestand with 2 home runs. Hoping to get some more offense. And Domit goes down on strikes for the first out of the Pirates' 4th. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Ronnie Cedeno reached on an infield single in the second, 1 for 1.
Five strikeouts for Jonathan Neese. His career high is 8.
Nothing in 1 to Ronnie. Right into the glove of David Wright.
Well, there have been some balls stung tonight, but right at people. Hot corner.
David Wright has been known to be in the right place at the right time, and I'm not even talking about on the baseball field. How about this? He endorsed a particular type of athletic drink that one of the major colas bought, and as part of his endorsement deal, he got 5% of the company. It was sold for quite a lot of money. And he ended up making $20 million on the deal. $4.1 billion was the sale price of this particular drink that he endorsed, and it was a good enough one where the major cola company, it's either one or the other.
Yeah.
You know which ones we're talking about, and
that's what you call having a good representative.
Yeah.
When you write up a contract.
But think about,
plus he's making a decent buck.
Yeah,
and then
bad.
some with the Mets.
Not at all. But you think about it, agent calls you, hey, we want you to endorse this stuff. He says, what? What is it? Well, it's this.
Don't worry about it. Just sign
it. It's this vitamin thing. It's good. You know, it's like water. And, you want to be in it. And so they gave him 5% of it for his endorsement. The cola company buys it for $4.1 billion. They're selling an awful lot of it.
What does he care? Along with that, David Wright's a very good baseball player.
Snyder hammers this one foul. Oh, Snyder's done his job on the field, too. No one's arguing. Several times an All-Star. He was an All-Star starter. 5 times he's been to the Midsummer Classic. Started again this year. And Snyder hits one well. Up in the air to left field. Going back on it is Pagan, and what a catch. Angel Pagan sprouted wings. And he was able to track down that ball hit by Snyder. And the Pirates are gone in the bottom of the 4th inning. Snyder thinking about 2 bases. winning game 1 of a doubleheader, 7 innings, and they got 7 runs, beating Fort Myers. Quincy Lattimore hit a home run, went 2 for 4. So the Marauders getting a win. Well, Delwyn Young, who is sitting on the bench tonight, but he gets out there and gets into the action. He's out there warming up. James McDonald. Delwyn's actually caught in games before as a professional. And now hand the glove off to Snyder. And that's because Ryan Dolmet's out in right field. They need somebody to come out and warm him up. Normally it'd be the backup catcher, but they don't have one tonight.
Several candidates for an emergency catcher for the Pirates. Delwyn Young was a candidate. Neil Walker was a catcher.
Jeff Clement. Clement actually caught this year in AAA when he was down. Caught one game of a doubleheader. Pagan lifts this one down the right field line. Angel Pagan heading for 2. He will stop there with a leadoff double. 3 times in 5 innings, the Mets have had a leadoff double. Reyes in the first, Davis in the 4th, and now Pagan here in the 5th. Both Reyes and Davis would come around to score.
And you don't want to let these Mets get too far down the road. We all know the recent situation with the lack of Pirate offense.
Carlos Beltran takes outside ball 1. Game has been played primarily in a drizzle tonight. Storm rolled through about 20 minutes before the first pitch was scheduled, delaying the first pitch by about 20 to 25 minutes. McDonald throws to second base, and Pagan is back.
Kind of a late decision. Okay, yeah, you want to go out there? I'll throw it over.
Two and 0 to Beltran. Pagan likes to run. In this situation, probably not the time, but he has 30 steals. Coming into this season, combined in his career, he'd only hit 26. And he's got a competition going internally with Jose Reyes. He told Reyes that he's going to outsteal him this year.
He's leading.
And Reyes told him, good luck to you and see you at the finish line. Beltran is aboard. Forced play back on. First and second, nobody out.
And red flag is up right now for James to a certain degree with 4 free passes here in 4+ innings.
.81 pitches. More walks than strikeouts tonight. And his strikeouts to walks coming into the game, 27 strikeouts to 9 walks. He hadn't made double digits in walks all season long between the Dodgers and the Pirates, but here 4 walks, 3 Ks, trying to even things out and get on the other side of it. 2 on, nobody out. Carter up in the air to shallow left field. Tabata will make the catch, and that's the first out. These Mets are aggressive.
Yep. I wonder if they were going to try to make James McDonald throw some more. He's struggling with his control to a certain degree tonight, but that first pitch out helps James. Working here in the top of the 5th.
Pirates wearing the uniforms of the Pittsburgh Crawfords of the Negro Leagues. Of course, the Homestead Grays also were very prominent in Negro League baseball here in Pittsburgh. The Pirates had the Grays uniforms one game last year at home. Here's David Wright, third baseman. It's this one foul. No balls and 1 strike.
David Wright has 18 home runs. James McDonald has given up just 1 home run this year, none in his work with the Pittsburgh Pirates to this point.
Ten out of 23.
I'd like to see that number a little better.
David Wright with 30 doubles. He hit his 30th double against the Houston Astros on the 18th, just a few days ago. Runners on first and second, 1-1, and this one is hit hard, deep to left center field. Going back, it is gone. 3-run home run for David Wright. Number 19 for him. And he now has 81 runs batted in.
And you can hear the reaction from a lot of Met fans. A lot of people over here from New York following their Metropolitans.
Second home run that McDonald has given up on the season.
To the biggest part of the ballpark.
You got all of it. Wright with 3 runs batted in. He needs 13 more runs batted in to get to 655 RBIs, which would tie Mike Piazza for second in franchise history. Wright certainly piling up some numbers. Ike Davis, 1 ball, 1 strike. Looks like the Pirates are getting busy in the bullpen. Two-one. Slow, 3-1.
James scheduled to lead off the bottom of the 5th.
And Daniel McCutchen loosening up. 3-1 pitch. And that is ball 4. That's the 5th walk issued by McDonald. The Hampton 8-year-old All-Stars are the Trib Total Media Youth Baseball or Softball Team of the Month. This coach pitch group prides themselves on defense and have allowed 7 runs or less in every game. Your team could be next. Just write a short essay to baseball at fsmpittsburgh.net telling us why. And they could be featured during a Trib Total Media Pirates pregame show in September. Thumbs up. It's baseball at fsmpittsburgh.net. A lot of youngsters here tonight. Joining our new Pittsburgh Crawfords cap. That one's close. Who dresses her? That's what I want to know. I think I know. There you go.
Oh, those are the good jerseys from the good old days. That's the 71 jersey.
There's the 3 amigos right there. There's See No Evil on the end. He's See No Evil. Speak No Evil.
That's just evil.
And the other guy's Evil Knievel. 5-1 Mets after the 3-run shot by David Wright. 2-0 to Josh Thole, the catcher. First is the first baseman Ike Davis, held on by Garrett Jones. And this one out of play. 2 balls and a strike. Thole hitting .295.
And the leash kind of getting tighter on James McDonald tonight.
Swing and a miss. And Thole down on strikes. 2 men out in the 5th. Skipper John Russell not happy with the score tonight. Nobody in that dugout is. Ruben Tejada, the second baseman, batting with 2 outs. A sacrifice fly in the 4th inning, scoring Ike Davis from third. Hits one down to Alvarez. It's through him and into foul ground. Davis will keep running. He'll end up at third, and into second base is Tejada. Hot shot right at Pedro, and he wasn't able to handle it.
And bounces far enough away where everybody can get an extra 90 feet.
Instead of the inning coming to a conclusion.
Now the mystery man for James McDonald, Jonathan Neese, who's walked twice.
Tejada at second base.
A little bit too much respect.
Neese is the 8th man to come to the plate this inning. 2 on, 2 out. Neese fouls it away. He's done a lot of that too. He's made contact.
And regardless of what he does in the top of the 6th, Jose Reyes in the top of the 6th will have his 4th at bat. Top of the 6th. He'll often get 4 at bats in the first 6 innings.
Strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. McDonald's spot will lead off the bottom half of the 5th, so you'd have to figure this will be it for him. 1 and 2. That's pitcher Jonathan Neese at the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and pitch number 100 from James McDonald coming up. Stays a ball and 2 strikes. John Russell's been wearing out a path in that dugout over the last few days. Two and 2.
I haven't kept track, but there have been a lot of pitches thrown to the mound opponent. Too many. And the beat goes on. We got to give Neese credit. I mean, he's found a way to stay alive until it's gotten to the point in the 2 previous situations where he's gotten a free pass.
He walked. 8, he walked. And 6, and he's got a 2-2 count. A couple of foul balls mixed in. And McDonald just trying to finish him off here. Runners at second and third, 2 down, 3 runs into the inning. And the 2-2 from McDonald. And for the 3rd time against Jonathan Neese, he has gone to a 3-ball count.
Coming into the game, 40 at bats for Neese, 22 strikeouts.
Payoff pitch. Ground ball to short. Cedeno will throw him out. David Wright, a 3-run shot. An Angel Pagano double. Those were the big hits in the top half of the 5th. is a Giant Eagle Advantage Card Day, where the Bucks offer you 2 ways to save. Purchase on the day of the game, and you'll save $5 off select reserved seats. Purchase in advance, and double that savings to $10 off. To purchase tickets, visit the PNC Park ticket windows or go online at pirates.com/Advantage Card. Andy LaRoche up there to pinch hit. McDonald is done for the night. 1-1 to count.
For James, 5 innings, 5 runs on 6 hits. He walked 5 and struck out 4.
1-1. That's right at the knees for a strike. Pedro Alvarez, who committed the error that kept that inning alive in the 5th, being talked to by infield instructor Carlos Garcia. And that ball that was smoked right at him by Ruben Tejada. Two balls, 2 strikes to Andy. Chopper to right. Plays it with a backhand and throws him out 1 away.
Raining harder now. This is not an official ball game. Pirates have to complete this at bat.
During the timeout, the umpires, with the exception of home plate umpire Adrian Johnson, Tim McClellan, the crew chief, and the base umpires DJ Rayburn and Andy Fletcher, met out behind second base to discuss the situation. McCutcheon, who has 2 doubles and a run scored, fouls it back. Now here's the veteran Tim McClellan. But the way it goes, Steve, is tomorrow is the last game the Mets and Pirates would play here at PNC Park. They do have 4 in New York. So when you start thinking about, okay, what about the rain and things like that, well, you want to try to get as much in as you can, at least get to the point where it's an official game before you would want to call for the grounds crew, who stands at the ready. Ground ball is short. Reyes off the bag, and McCutcheon got tagged. That's 2 down.
Quick release by Reyes, a little off the mark, but he erred on the side of home plate, which allowed Davis to come down and make the tag on the fly. Good quick release by Reyes. And Mike Davis will make the tag.
He's got a strong arm, Reyes does. McCutcheon right there on the way by. And that one's into left field down the line. And Tabata will take a big turn. He's going to head for 2. Jose Tabata with his first hit of the night, 1 for 1. And he now has his 16th double. So Tabata getting an opportunity to get to hit.
Yeah, after a couple sacrifice bunts, which I'm still confused. I don't know if I'm still not convinced they were sacrifice bunts. I'm wondering if he was trying to push that ball both times to try to get base hits. Regardless, he gets the base hit here.
Neil Walker a chance to get the tying run in again. Not the tying run, but another run. He got the tying run in, I meant to say, in the 3rd inning to make it a 1-1 game. Yeah, in order to get the tying run in, you'd have to hit a grand slam with only 1 guy on, which you can't do.
Yeah, but it would really be impressive.
That would go down in the history books. Strike called, 1-1. They're trying to keep the barrel of the bat dry. Inside. Is there a game you remember weather-wise that you couldn't believe you were still playing in?
Oh yeah, there's been several of them. There have been some really tough conditions, especially late in ball games, where an umpire is trying to get it, they're trying to get it in the books and put the lid on it.
2-2 now to Walker.
They're 1 out away from having an official game. I have no idea what the weather forecast through the rest of the evening, but they will try to get this one in. Reasons not the least of which what you're talking about the Mets not coming back.
3-2.
Just trying to absolutely crowd Neal.
And in conditions like this, too, as a pitcher, when you've been into a deep count like this, what's a challenge? Does the ball get a little harder to grip?
Well, yeah, every once in a while you can catch a wet baseball. But right now, Nice is very much aware of this ball game being official or not. Trying to get that last out. He's got a comfortable lead. One more out, takes it out of the realm of question. And if you don't come back and play, he's got himself a cheap win.
How about the footing?
Well, it doesn't look very good, does it?
It'll be up to those guys. And Walker towards second base. Tejada throws to first. And the Pirates are through in the 5th inning. Into the 6th. New York Mets leading the Bucks by a 5-1 score.
Snyder to throw to first base. Jones to throw back to Snyder. Reyes in underneath. He gets the safe call as he gets the hand across before you see that cloud of line coming up from the batter's box. Chris Snyder thinks he's got him, but he didn't get him. That's tonight's Freeze Can, brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Right-hander Daniel McCutchen has come on. He will be the next Pirates pitcher. 5-1 Mets with a lead. 16th appearance for McCutchen.
I'm surprised that we're going to play here in the top of the 6th inning. I thought Tim McClellan coming over, he talked to Manny Lopez, the head of the Pirates ground crew, and they talked about it, but they decided to continue. And he's going to, I think what he's saying right there, you tell me if your footing gets too bad and we'll shut this thing down. That's my guess.
Manny Lopez, head of the grounds crew.
On we go.
Jose Reyes, top of the order, trying to bunt. And takes the ball, 1-0. Reyes doubled in the first inning, struck out in the second, flying to right in the 4th. Right over the head of Walker and in front of Domet for a base hit.
Now, Reyes, a big part of his game is running, but you've got a real slow track right now. Find out if he's a mutter.
Well, he likes to run, there's no question. Talk about stolen bases and the New York Mets, you think of Jose Reyes.
Right now you're thinking of the winds of November.
The conditions are not exactly ideal.
They can't continue much more on this.
Pitch to Angel Pagan is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, I don't think the hard stuff's going to come down for a while.
Monsignor. Gordon Lightfoot. The record of Edmonds Fitzgerald.
Pitch inside, 2-0.
I'm going to say 2 more pitches. That's the over-under for me.
Two-0 pitch. Pagan fouls it back. Don't you have to put a half on there, like 2.5 or 1.5?
Pardon me?
Over 1.5 pitches or under 2.5. You got to put a half on there.
Don't have to. It makes it interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That will give you an idea of what it's like here at PNC Park tonight. Go to first, and Reyes is back.
And in the back door and back of Garrett Jones.
How about some of the fans here, though? They're sticking it out.
You know what? I just over there 10 times right now. Just see him belly flop back into first base. Really get the mud on the uniform.
Some are able to get under cover. Some don't care to get under cover. 3-1 now to Pagan.
Daniel McCutcheon has done a good job in his relief appearances, and now they want a towel, and that should tell Tim McClellan that he's going to shut it down now. Yep, that's the indicator. Pitcher can't get his footing at whatever time it is, 9:05.
Out they roll. So up comes the tarp.
Just a matter of when, not if. You got to get this thing covered up, and if and when we return, this is an official ball game. It will take a while to get the field back in playing condition because there's going to be some damage underneath that tarp that's going to have to be repaired, and going to have to get all that diamond dry, whatever that material is, out underneath if and when we get back in order. So it never did stop. The rain, well, it stopped momentarily to get the game underway, and we've got a good bit of it in, but now they're going to shut it down with a runner on first base, a 3-1 count, and the Mets with a 5-1 lead.
So that's the situation. We are in a rain delay. Coming up, stay tuned and watch it. Spotlight, Pirates all-time team with Steve Blass. I'm Tim Neverett at rainy PNC Park. Pirates and Mets in a rain delay. Stay with us.